feel like Anthony Bourdain is definitely a bigger name here in the US than he is in the UK. I definitely heard of him in the UK and, could name the book Kitchen Confidential. However, I didn't know a whole lot about him until I read that book. And so this is my review of the documentary about Anthony Bourdain, Roadrunner. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel and then movie reviews here at the weekend. In the description box below, you will find all of my social links, including my blog, my Goodreads. If you haven't seen the video explaining why I am sitting in front of a blank wall just now, I will leave it linked up above. But yes, expect some changes in background between videos. We'll switch back and forth between this and my bookshelves and my blank bookshelves and perhaps other backgrounds. So make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on all those fun and games of different backgrounds of Katrina's videos. But yes, I will also leave my movie reviews playlist linked up above in case you are looking for something to watch this weekend. I do have other documentaries on there, or if a documentary review isn't your thing, you can find something else to watch up there. But yes, Roadrunner. I was very excited for this film. I believe it is one of those that it's being released on HBO Max at the same time as it being released in the big screen. I don't have HBO Max, so I was able to go and see it in the cinema. And obviously a lot of other people were in that position as well because the cinema was pretty full. So that was exciting. It was a 10:30 in the morning showing on a Friday, so it was nice to have a full screen, and there was moments where there was funny things going on the screen and the whole audience was laughing. And so that cinema going experience of watching a documentary was very different from the last time I watched documentary. Because I did 2 documentaries where we were the only people in the cinema. I was with someone for the first one and I was alone for the second one. I'll leave that video linked up above. So it was nice to have that audience participation. This film is definitely a film of 2 halves. We have a lot about kind of like Anthony Bourdain's success and his early career and how he went from being a chef in a kitchen to being the major TV personality that he became. And then the second half of the film is about sort of the darker side of things. We know that his life got a bit darker, and so that second half of the film is about the darker side of things, and it definitely was a marked turn literally at the halfway point. So if you're worried that this film is all dark, it 100% is not. It's like a 2-hour film and we have 1 hour of this is how we got here, and this is how it's going, as the popular meme says. But yeah, I learned an awful lot about this personality through this film. There was a lot of things about his earlier life and his later life and his personal life that I had no idea about. And as always, when I'm watching a documentary, I enjoy when we have a balance of talking heads, actual clips, and sort of analysis. And this one, I think, definitely had a good balance of that. The talking heads were different from your usual documentary talking heads because they don't kind of pull any punches. There's a lot of language and openness and honestness and kind of discussion of things which might be taboo in your kind of like classic documentary. And so I appreciated how kind of raw and unedited it was in that sense. If people were, really happy, really angry, really upset, it was shown on camera. And I appreciated that. And then it was interesting because the clips that we got to see, a lot of the clips were clips of him doing filming. So we would, somebody would be recording, or it would be like an outtake or B-roll from him filming some of his various TV shows that he did, as well as footage from like book tours, and then him just being in New York and meeting people. And so again, the footage is stuff that you won't have seen before, and so that to me is part of a good documentary, because it's something that you won't have seen before, and so you get to learn more through just the kind of like nuanced way it's been edited together. The fact that we've got these clips of things that we're getting a glimpse into a side of somebody that we won't have seen. So you may have seen that particular episode, but you won't have seen the B-roll, or you won't have seen the filming of that episode, or you won't have seen this particular outtake. And so I think that that's how they kind of got around it just being talking heads of people saying, this is what he was like, this happened then, this happened next. Because I think making a documentary after someone is no longer with us, I think you can often end up with too many talking heads and too many just like, here's a clip, here's somebody talking about it. I think the fact that we had like all this footage and mixed with some like social media stuff, and then mixed with some very early stuff as well. And then we have sort of home videos of him at home with a partner or a family member, and those were also interesting because again, that's a side of Anthony Bourdain that definitely wasn't seen in the media. It was really interesting for me coming as somebody that didn't know an awful lot about him aside from what's written in the book. But I think that there is enough in there that if you are already a fan, or you already know a lot about him, or you know, you've followed his shows, you've met him, you've read the book, I think there's probably enough in there that even if you do know an awful lot going into the film, you're going to take something away from this film. Would this film have to be seen on the big screen? I said at the beginning, I enjoyed the experience of having the people around us in the cinema and having that audience reaction, even though the woman next to me was clearly asleep and snoring. That was distracting. But aside from that, I liked having that kind of like, we all watched this together as a community, and we kind of experienced this together, and you know, we cried together and we laughed together. However, there's nothing in there that, you know, it's like, oh, you have to see this cinematography on the big screen. It's a documentary. So if you are thinking of watching this on HBO Max, then try and give yourself as little distractions as possible so you can sit down for the full 2 hours and enjoy it. You know, have yourself a glass of wine or a plate of pasta or something. There's not a whole lot of food in this. There's a lot of travel, and I really appreciated that. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I definitely took an awful lot away from it. It's something that I will be recommending to people to watch, and it's definitely something that I would consider watching on the small screen. So again, if it pops up on a plane or on streaming or something like that, it is something that I would rewatch, and I do recommend it. So there you have it. I will leave my movie reviews playlist in the end screen as well for you. If you are looking for my thoughts on older films, you can find that in there. I will be back with another movie review for you next weekend. It may have a different background, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you with that video next week. Thanks for watching.